Hey everyone, Zach here. Welcome back to the channel. So the big question, will the big flippening actually take place in the next year, 2 years, 3 years, 5 years, 10 years? The great flippening. If you're not familiar with what this is, that would mean that Ethereum in market cap would flip Bitcoin, and these two assets would trade places. If you have some thoughts on this before we get into it or after the video, make sure you drop those down in the comments below. Before we get into this, because this is a question that's asked a lot right now, especially with Ethereum surging the way it has lately, a lot of people are asking, is the great flippening going to happen? So before we get into it, again, this is not financial advice, just for entertainment, informational purposes only. I take, what I've learned, interject my opinion into it a little bit, and, present to you what I think may be happening somewhere down the line in the future. So in terms of where I think Ethereum is going and if this will potentially happen one day, I do think it will happen one day. If we take a look just right now at the market caps, right? Now, again, important to note here, Ethereum jumping Bitcoin in market cap does not have to mean it will jump it in price, meaning Bitcoin can still be at a higher price than Ethereum, but Ethereum could be the higher market cap, right? So if we look at the dominance right now, BTC has a 42.9% dominance to ETH's 18.8%. This dominance level was massive, though, a few months back, where Bitcoin was like at 60 to 70% dominance. Ethereum has come surging up the charts and has really taken a lot of that dominance away from Bitcoin. Just look right now at the market cap. If you doubled Ethereum, you would be close to Bitcoin's market cap right now, right? And I recently put out a video about the future price predictions of Bitcoin and Ethereum. And there's both, on both sides, there's some really, really bullish arguments for those price predictions. But in terms of market cap, I do think one day Ethereum will overtake Bitcoin. And we're going to get into it a little bit. And, one of the reasons why I think that, just look at the last year for Bitcoin. Okay, still great numbers here, up 346% in the year, even after the big downward trend. We were way up here at 64,000 at one point, right? Still up 346%. But look at Ethereum's 1 year prices and how much it's increased in price. Over 1,200%, almost 1,300% in the 1 year time. And they have a similar crash here. They were up as high as $4,300. Now, in terms of why I believe this will happen one day, where Ethereum will overcome Bitcoin and the great flippening will happen, I just think Ethereum has had time to think more about the future of cryptocurrency, right? So they're moving to a proof of stake model with Ethereum 2.0. I look at Ethereum as the highway, right? So they are the highway, and then there's a lot of these cars in which run down the highway. And these cars could be things like Shiba Inu, Polygon, right? All of these Ethereum-based tokens are just cars running down the Ethereum highway. And I look at the NFT space and the future of NFTs. Most of those run down the Ethereum highway. So I think that Ethereum has an ecosystem that is primed to build out larger than Bitcoin. I look at Bitcoin personally as a digital asset that is somewhat like digital gold, right? Where it's a secure asset that we may not spend it as much as we spend assets like Ethereum and, let's say, Polygon, right? Or things like that. Maybe the use case isn't as good, right? Now, I don't only share this opinion, but I want to get into a couple articles that I found that also share their opinions. So this article actually talks about if Ethereum will overtake Bitcoin in 2021. And they say, here's what you need to know. So they give kind of the percent gains, which we kind of talked about, why Ethereum has had such an increase in price due to NFTs and the DeFi space. And we get down here and we talk about Bitcoin versus Ethereum. Before we dive into Ethereum's attributes, let's examine one of the most significant differences between Bitcoin and Ether, their consensus mechanisms. Okay, many readers will likely know a central component of blockchain technology is the distributed ledger, which contains a record of all previous transactions stored across the network of computers around the world. So although Ether is currently in the process of migrating to a different consensus mechanism, Ethereum 2.0. With PAL, the profitability of mining a block is determined by how much computational work is done by the miner, with then a reward given to the first miner to solve this puzzle. Since network miners compete with one another using this computational power, mining communities tend to become more centralized over time. And they're looking to move away from this and make it more decentralized, right? Here's a nice little piece on NFTs right here. Ones that are sold on OpenSea rely on the Ethereum asset, right? Same thing with Rarible as well and Mintable, okay? So they get into Ethereum 2.0, which I'll have a larger video on that coming out on Thursday. But according to their CEO, Charles Hoskinson, founder of cryptocurrency Cardano, the main advantage of Ethereum 2.0 is that the network won't have this overhead and energy expenditure, which is one of the big concerns with Bitcoin. So protocols will be much lighter, massively more energy efficient, like 99.9% more efficient. These are, it goes without saying, all features that only add to Ethereum's appeal to investors and traders alike. So we get into a little bit more of the DeFi aspect of Ethereum. And one especially fun and unique example of dApps that runs on the Ethereum blockchain is CryptoKitties, where users collect, breed, and sell digital cats. This all means there is a lot of money flowing into Ethereum. At least 41 billion is currently locked into DeFi projects on the blockchain compared to just 4 billion 8 months ago. So that's a huge, huge increase in a very short amount of time, right? So these distinct and advanced features highlight the growth and innovation associated with the Ethereum blockchain and are part of the reason why a lot of people in the crypto sphere, crypto space, are getting increasingly more excited about the potential that Ether can offer. So is it Bitcoin, is it Ethereum, or is it both? That's the big question, right? So a lot of excitement around Ethereum, but remember, Ethereum just hit all-time highs. But until the aforementioned Ethereum 2.0 is a known quantity, there remains doubts about its ability to meet the already significant need for bandwidth. So there are some question marks about Ethereum 2.0, but I would say in listening to some people around the space, reading what I've read so far in Ethereum 2.0, there are a lot more people bullish on Ethereum 2.0 than bearish, meaning there are a lot more people who believe Ethereum 2.0 will work. Maybe it won't be launched in late 2022, which is, was some of their aspirations early on. Maybe it takes until 2023, but a lot of people believe that this will strengthen Ethereum, the entire network as a whole, and more projects will be added when Ethereum 2.0 hits the market. So it's very possible that Ether will continue to outperform Bitcoin in 2021, even as Ethereum has not yet fully realized the benefits from the growing popularity of the DeFi dApps and NFTs. Just the exploding NFT market alone directly benefits the value of ETH. And I think ETH has room to grow until its price encompasses the current excitement. This is coming from analyst Noam Levinson. So we scroll down here a little bit longer and we see some information that I think is interesting. In closing, let me just remind readers that there's another way to look at this BTC versus ETH debate. Perhaps we need to ask, why can't we all just get along? Is there space for both of these assets? Jason Peckman of Invictus Capital points out that while Bitcoin and Ethereum are naturally compared to one another, it doesn't really make sense because both are vying for separate and mutually beneficial use cases. I tend to agree with this too. I think Bitcoin is, as I mentioned in the beginning of the video, digital gold, where Ethereum is this highway where all of these NFT ventures and DeFi projects run on, right? Bitcoin is often considered a currency token, Ether a utility token. Because of this, it's unlikely that Ether will overtake Bitcoin in terms of market capitalization. So there's an interesting point. I tend to disagree with this. I think it will. But the two are different heads of the same animal. And while there's an increasing interest in what Ethereum can offer, the digital gold that is Bitcoin, at least to date, remains king. And again, I do think Bitcoin remains king in terms of the price, right? BTC is unlikely to be dethroned as the leading cryptocurrency, but the growth shown on the Ethereum blockchain is hard to bet against, says Peckham. Adding BTC's digital gold narrative is straightforward, which is beneficial for attracting new users who may be intimidated by the apparently more complex and dynamically evolving ETH narrative. So let me know what you guys think down below if you're finding some value in this video. The big flippening, will it happen? Will Ethereum overtake Bitcoin in market capitalization somewhere down the line? Now, here's a couple analysts who explain why Ether will surpass Bitcoin as the leading cryptocurrency. So we'll scroll down here and take a look at a few of these perspectives. So Insider spoke to 3 experts who share their thoughts on why Ether has the potential to become the world's leading cryptocurrency. And I like this quote here from John Wu, president of Ava Labs. Okay, so on Ethereum, there's a lot of development, DeFi and NFT. Ultimately, we get past the single functionality store value that is Bitcoin, and we get into a world where there are greater use cases, and that always trumps a single function, which is an asset or a storage value. Okay, so John and I share similar thoughts on this. How about Justin Chu? I think most digital assets will continue to be correlated and move in tandem with Bitcoin, but some blockchains and their cryptocurrencies, such as Ether, can also be looked at from a standalone basis. So the usual FUD can come out of nowhere and hammer down the crypto class as a whole, but some assets will be able to decouple with the downside simply because the market participants don't care or see the current news having a long-term impact, likely due to their faith in the underlying technology. So he thinks in this case, Ethereum could outperform Bitcoin because it has so many underlying technologies that are embedded within the platform itself. So if you found some value in this video, make sure you like and subscribe to the channel, and let me know what you think down in the comments. Will Bitcoin get outperformed by Ethereum the rest of 2021? And will someday Ethereum overtake Bitcoin in market capitalization? I'd love to hear your thoughts, and I will see you in the next video.